If you're following advice online about getting rich, it just won't work, as it is mainly targeted at Americans, not Europeans. On top of that, as a financial coach, I've noticed there are 3 myths every European blindly follows, but which actually stop 99% of them from reaching their financial goals. So in this video, I'm going to show you the worst advice keeping Europeans poor, and what you should do instead to build a 6-figure net worth and retire early. Let's start with a piece of bad advice that might surprise you, because it goes against everything European culture teaches us. I'm sure you've heard it 1,000 times. Renting is just throwing money away. It just gets the landlord rich. A house is the best investment you will ever make. You will need to buy property to build wealth. I hear this constantly, and I get it. The pressure is intense. Everyone around you is following this advice, saving up for their first house and then buying it as soon as they can. But let me show you some numbers that might surprise you. I'm moving to Lisbon next year, and there a good 2-bedroom apartment rents for about 2,400 euros a month, which means almost 30,000 euros per year thrown into rent. So to avoid paying all this rent, I could buy a similar apartment to always have a roof over my head and feel safer. But the monthly mortgage would be about 2,700 euros. Now, most people would think, see, buying is obviously better. You only pay 300 euros more and the apartment is yours. Yes, but no, it's not that simple. Because the mortgage is the minimum you will pay every month as a homeowner. You have many other costs to cover: property taxes, agency fees, insurance, maintenance, and renovation costs, just to name some. And let's not forget about the 20% down payment, which is 150,000 euros in this case. Taking all this into account, my overall cost would be around 4,000 euros per month. But the most important thing to check is the opportunity cost of owning this apartment versus renting it, which means what you give up by choosing one option over another. For example, the money you could have made if you had invested instead of buying. And the reality is, in my case, buying an apartment in Lisbon would cost me hundreds of thousands more than renting one, because the mortgage plus all the housing costs are way higher than rent, and that extra money could be invested instead. And over time, those investments would grow way faster than the equity I would build in the apartment. And that's why I'm not going to buy my own place. So, does it mean renting is better than buying? No, there isn't a rule saying one is better than the other one. It really depends on your own specific situation, where you live, your financial situation, and most importantly, what you want. Because in the end, buying an apartment shouldn't only be a financial decision, but also a lifestyle one. It should take into account your life plans and needs. Maybe you plan to stay in the same place for your whole life. Maybe you value stability and don't mind paying extra for it. These are all valid reasons to buy, and that's why maybe for you it's better buying than renting. But buying just because that's what you're supposed to do could cost you hundreds of thousands of euros. But how do you calculate if, financially speaking, it's better to buy or rent? To make it easier for you, I built a free calculator that does all the math for you in 2 minutes. You find the link in the description. And if you're not sure how to use it, don't worry. I made a separate video where I walk you through it step by step, so you can see exactly how it works. Second, this mistake cost me thousands of euros when I was younger. When I was 16, I got obsessed with personal finance and investing. I would read American books and blogs all day. I literally read every book I could find about Warren Buffett. Then I also started watching YouTubers like Graham Stephan and Ben Felix. Their advice sounded amazing. I felt like I had found the secret to getting rich. Invest in stocks, buy these ETFs, use retirement accounts, use your credit card to build your credit score and get rewards. So I did exactly what they said. I researched American stocks, studied retirement accounts, compared credit cards for the best rewards. I thought I was being so smart, but then reality hit me hard. The American advice I was following didn't work. Credit cards and retirement accounts don't work the same here in Europe. And worst of all, I even had to pay taxes both in the US and in Europe on my investments, which is crazy. I lost thousands of euros because of that. The thing is, most American financial advice just doesn't work here in Europe because the systems are different. And following American advice didn't just cost me money, It made me stressed and confused about my own financial situation. Because even the advice I thought was smart didn't work in Europe, and then ended up feeling lost, paralyzed, not knowing what to do next. So, what can you do as a European? Don't just copy American financial advice blindly. Take it with a grain of salt. Make sure the content you consume is actually relevant for your situation, both financially and geographically. Then read European blogs and books, watch European YouTubers, and learn how local systems actually work, like retirement plans, taxes, and investing in European ETFs instead of American ones. That's how you start making real progress with your money as a European. Finally, the third piece of bad advice is the one that frustrated me the most. Skip that €3 coffee. Cook every meal at home. Every cent matters. I followed this advice religiously. I would stress about every small purchase, feeling guilty about spending money on anything that wasn't absolutely necessary. The result? I was miserable. I never enjoyed my money, even when I had it. And worse, I was focusing all my energy on saving cents while ignoring the opportunities to make thousands. The truth is, cutting all your small expenses is like trying to fill a swimming pool with a teaspoon. You will tire yourself out and get nowhere. But here's why this advice doesn't actually work. If you skip a €3 coffee every single day for a year, you will save about €1,095, which sounds nice. But it also means feeling like you're sacrificing something every single day. And that's the real problem. When you obsess over every tiny expense, you lock yourself into a mindset of scarcity. You will never move forward that way. So what should you do instead? First, give yourself permission to enjoy your money. Allocate around 15% of your income as guilt-free money. That's money you can spend on whatever brings you joy, without any stress or guilt. You can even define your own non-negotiable, for which you will always spend money for. Want that coffee? Buy it. Want to go out with friends? Go ahead. As long as it fits in your guilt-free budget, enjoy it without stress. This isn't just about happiness, it's about sustainability and keeping your sanity. Budgets that feel like punishment always fail. Then redirect your energy toward the big wins, the things that actually build your wealth. Negotiate a raise, build your investments, find a better mortgage, eliminate all your debt. Each of these actions has more impact than a lifetime of skipped coffees. The problem is most people don't even know which of these big wins to focus on first. And because of that, they stay stuck, never growing their wealth or reaching financial freedom. So if you want to discover the big win you should start with, watch this next video, where I will show you exactly what to focus on right now to actually get rich and retire early.